struggling to make anything work. As you could imagine, we are pretty whooped. It was an incredible weekend. Everything was pretty much amazing except for the wind. So that was terrible, but everything else was great. Thank you guys for tuning in to another WERock Wednesday. And I would like to thank LaserNut, as always, for sponsoring our...
Hey, we're live on YouTube.
Nice. Our WERock Wednesdays. Huge shout out to Cody for supporting... Wow. We're pages into this this season already. So, real quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to Maxxis Tires, LaserNut, Raceline Wheels, Behemoth Drivetrain, Drive Shaft Specialist of San Antonio, Spider Tracks Off-Road, Carnage Welders, Crown Automotive, Axle Helmets, Tire Right, Metal Cloak, and Brannick Motorsports. So, we are going to do a little bit of a recap of the weekend, and then kind of talk a little bit about what that looks like for the Brannick Motorsports National Championship. So
yeah, we are we are 3 events in, but Texas being a double points event means that we're technically 4 events in.
Yep.
And you take your best 4 events into the Brannick National Championship, and so we can look at those scores and see who is where. Cedar, yeah, windy, but what a great event. We had lots of action. 5 pro mods, 6 pro trail, and 5 unlimited. So it was awesome to have Ron Arch, David Tolfason out competing in the pro trail class. Hopefully we can get more guys like that into that pro trail class and make it even more fun.
Yeah, Ron. You know what? Let me pull up the scores here real quick. The wind and the sand and the dirt did a number on everything electronic that we had. So my computer is not apparently not working with the trackpad on here any longer. And I'm going to go ahead and jump onto Facebook real quick and pull up the WERock Live.
Well, I got it here on the phone. Just pull up scores.
Well, I could pull it up right here if
it was connected to the internet.
If our internet was working.
Go to the right. Click there.
That one?
Yeah.
Jake's internet access. Wow, we get online. We're doing things.
The internet decided it was not happy with how we had it plugged in.
We did it wrong.
Well, apparently you can do it wrong.
Yeah.
And so we found out that it was not working
10 minutes
ago. Mics are unaccounted for. I'll have to see if we can find those. It says connected.
I got nothing.
Should have left them open. Can you open Excel without get the scores without it?
Oh yeah, let's just go direct to the source here.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty smart. It's a big spreadsheet. I've been working on a lot of things in here, so let's go to Cedar City 2025 scorebook. Where do you want to start? You want to start with unlimited, or you want to start?
Let's talk about one thing real quick.
Yeah.
What did we count? Like 61, 62?
61, I believe, was
competitors.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing and crazy to have so many competitors. We had a flight of 20 competitors in Sportsman B.
Or not a flight, but a Sportsman B.
A Sportsman B field. Field of 20 Sportsman B.
Yep.
18 Sportsman A. How many Sportsman C did we have?
We had a good field there.
We had 5, and then we even had
2 UTVs.
Two UTVs, yeah. And noting Jesse Haynes was in Sportsman B in his LJ on Portals.
Yep. Brought his Jeep Unlimited Extreme Rubicon version, maybe? I don't know.
But he came out and put on a great show. And, it was just awesome to watch him manipulate that full-bodied Jeep on the Sportsman courses.
With a manual transmission.
Manual, yeah.
And he spent more time on the rev limiter trying to do front digs all over the courses.
He probably did 16 U-turns throughout the weekend. 2 or 3 a course,
I think I saw him do that on a course.
Yeah.
So, Christian Briefska's watching. Hope you're healing up, buddy. I know he just had surgery this morning. Said everything went well. But Christian was able to hang tight right there.
In that flight of 20.
In that flight of 20.
We had Jesse Haynes on the podium.
Behind Jesse Haynes and a guy named Rich, also known as Rich Klein. So
nobody knows who that is.
Yeah, exactly. So, 2 of the great masterminds
in rock crawling, of competitive rock crawling.
Yeah. So that's a huge testament to Christian and Ernie. And Jesse was sitting behind Tran and Travis Clark there on Saturday too. So
yeah, that Kid Buggy had a great first day on Saturday. I believe they were sitting in first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were sitting in first ahead of Jesse and Christian. Nate Hurst and Ryan Maxfield, that's an unlimited team he's on 35s and leaf sprung. But
what's left of a Cherokee?
But
that's probably cheating right there, anyways. Using a Cherokee.
But it was amazing. We had so many Sportsman B competitors, and it was a completely stacked field as well. So congratulations to everyone in Sportsman B that got to go out and compete against that entire field.
All the way down through 14th place was in the negatives for Sportsman B. So that is no joke. Jesse ended up with a negative 180, Christian with a 165, and Tran with a 146. So it was not a runaway by any stretch, and incredible battle for everybody that came out and participated, especially in the Pro Mod and Sportsman C. Those are the most difficult classes, per vehicle. So those guys really, really battled it out too. A couple cool things to talk about in Sportsman C.
Yep.
Brandon Jennings and Mike Oakes coming away with the win. So that is super exciting.
Putting that white Toyota on the top spot there.
Yep.
With Tony Riviera and Riley Klingeman coming into second place. Then third place, Scarlett Reinhardt, Andrew Reinhardt in that white Cherokee.
And the team that normally dominates Sportsman C is Team Gutswheeler. And they ended up in fourth place.
And that little TJ typically do really well.
Extremely well, yep.
And so it was unusual to see the 2 Toyotas and a Cherokee on the podium instead of a TJ.
Yeah. And so the other huge story in Sportsman C was Boober Anderson. Had a really rough time in Baghdad, Arizona.
Steering
Allard,
going out.
Towed the Jeep back to his shop. It was harsh. I think what we did, we rolled over everybody in Sportsman C.
Except maybe 2.
Except for maybe 2 out there.
We had a flight of 8.
Yeah.
And some Sportsman C probably multiple times.
Right. Everybody chipped in. Steve asked for some support on the internet without Boober knowing, and basically built a new Sportsman C rig.
New cage, new front end, new front suspension, new steering. pretty much everything that goes into making a car work. They worked on it, replaced parts, and redid things.
Yeah, and it is. I knew that from seeing the stuff that Steve builds, I knew it would be nice, but it was above and beyond. Like it was super cool. So a great story. If you guys don't follow Boober or Steve Allard on Facebook, I know they did tag WERock in the video. So if you go to the WERock live page on Facebook, click on mentions, you can find that video and check it out. But very, very cool, and a short amount of time to build. I wouldn't say from scratch, but almost worse, because they removed a whole bunch of stuff and really, really dialed that rig in. So that was super cool. Sportsman A. So. A list of usual suspects at the top here. Coulter Brassanini.
Yeah, we have Coulter and Craig.
Yep.
And then that's pretty much it for your typical Sportsman A. What you would normally expect to see up there.
Yep.
Yeah, Coulter Brassanini, along with Rich Klein out front spotting, was able to put that copper colored moon buggy built by Cody Wagner onto that top spot once again.
Yep.
That was very cool. Coming off of the win in Texas, immediately going for another win in Cedar City. And then Craig Allen and his son Craig Allen.
Yep.
Second place there. And then we have an old name, Kevin Reimer.
Yep.
Kevin Reimer, as he told me to call him.
Yeah.
Kevin Reimer, yeah.
What was he's got no rhymes, and I should keep the jokes inside because that's not funny. What were they driving? I don't.
They were driving a 2-seat Jesse Trail car.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I couldn't.
And then the party wagon there, Brian Jensen.
Yep. The 4-seat.
The 4-seat, non-portaled, always running a Trailbreaker, giving it a shot. Coming into fourth place.
He ran with us at Trail Hero. 2 years ago, I believe.
And then Trailbreaker 2 years ago, he made it into the Trailbreaker, and then you may have saw the video of him falling off of the LCQ Trailbreaker and completely wiping out the back of his cage. But he was out there, Cedar City, and put on a great show, and that got him into fourth place behind a bunch of portaled buggies.
Yeah.
And I think Logan Brown was spotting for him, West Desert Wheeler.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Rick Jorgensen and Dylan Calderon and Vray and Jason Reeves running Charlie's buggy.
Yep.
Did a phenomenal job getting those. And then right after them, Laura and Steve Nance. So, I mean, a lot of really, really good names in there. I know that Brooklyn Maxfield was doing amazing.
Yep, was right in contention for the podium.
Kevin's old buggy, but lost a ring and pinion on that. Daniel Lusko broke on the first day. Tyler Lyon broke on the first day.
Yeah, I mean, lots of vehicles and lots of carnage, of course.
Yeah.
So it was amazing time. So many sportsman competitors. Every time you'd look over and somebody was doing something cool.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I looked over and I saw Colton Geist in Sportsman B. He had flopped over on course and was trying to save it and just about did. Went all the way over, landed on all four, and then landed on the driver's side. It was just barely had just too much momentum going down the hill. Was not quite able to land back on all four, but he gave it a hell of a shot. Yeah.
Josh Pat working on a bonus line over there. Saw him just thrashing on that FJ40 car over there, just trying to get it back on all fours.
Yeah.
He giving it everything they've got. But looking at that, all the way down through 16th place in Sportsman A was negative. 13th place was negative 100 or more. So you want to talk about a super
tight field.
Yeah. Very, very tight. Let's jump into Pro Modified real quick. A field of 5. Jason Reeves set a new personal record for number of rollovers.
Yep, rolled the
in
car
a day.
twice.
Yeah.
Saturday rolled it and landed back on all 4, still finished the course, and then was it later on later on Saturday he flopped it over.
What was that, C2 over there?
C3.
A3, yes.
Yeah.
Coming off the top there, ended up on each side. So
A2, I think. No, that's A3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then unfortunately, Sunday, the Switch Pros just quit. The car was dead. They couldn't get it wouldn't send power at all.
Yeah.
So it would turn over, but it wouldn't.
Monday when they were trying to load up, he said it was even worse. So everything that ran into that Switch Pro had pretty much died and had no electrics for the car at all. So,
yeah. And then so he finished the week in 5th place. 4th place, Victor Bunnis, John Hardy. Man, there were some really tough courses for Pro Mod. They put in a great effort and put in some different game plans to try and make up some points.
And they were right there as well. Even with taking a 40 in the shootout, by not making it into the shootout, they ended up with 222. Caitlin Bourne ended up with a 194.
So they were super close going into the shootout with
very, very close,
trying to get that 3rd place. Caitlin.
Rolled 3 or 4 times.
Rolled the car 3 times. We've recovered her 3 times there, and then I got to see video of her 4th roll where she flopped it, but was able to save it. It was a harsh weekend on that car. Going into the shootout, she tried the big wall, rolled off it, completely broke that right front wheel.
That was crazy.
It completely destroyed it. Broke it. Like it hit the beadlock ring and pushed the wheel in on the outside ring. In. Never seen a wheel fail like that.
Nope.
But she put on a great show, and even though it was her 4th roll over the weekend, it was all smiles.
Yeah, huge effort out of those 2 in the Pro Modifieds. George Liner and Laura putting on a great effort. Came down to, it didn't change the standings at all, but their shootout run had so much heart in it. George made the drop on the big wall.
Yep, the only Pro Mod to do any bonuses in the shootout. He made a climb and then did the big wall drop. The car hit so hard it popped a coil wire off. Is that what?
Yeah, there was. I think
heard?
it was the the positive and negative side. The clip, I think, is what it was.
Yeah,
but because they kind of wedged some stuff back in there,
and
they were able to get it fired back up. But
he hit the bottom of the wall, and the car just died. And literally 6 feet from the exit gate, he's like calling it, and everybody's yelling, screaming, "Run it on the starter! It's a manual." Just crank it over and just try it, because all you need is 2 tires to break the plane, and he would have cashed 2 bonuses.
Yep.
And he hopped back in and started cranking it on the starter and timed out with probably 1 tire was through it.
Yeah, 1 tire was through the finish gate.
The right front was through it.
And he had to be 6 inches from breaking the plane with the other tire that would have banked both of those bonus points. So
it's super close. It was amazing. Everybody was cheering for him, and the car wasn't even running, and it was just amazing. Everybody cheering, screaming, yelling, trying to will that car into the finish gate.
Yeah.
And fortunately, just didn't quite have enough time, and was not able to get those bonuses.
Yeah, and kind of a similar story in the shootout, but Braxton Coleman, Brett Robinson.
The only course of the weekend they did not finish was the shootout.
Yeah. Otherwise, they put on a stellar, run for the weekend. They didn't roll the car, kept it on all 4s all weekend. Just really, really
Yeah, it was really cool to watch.
Solid run for those
really
guys.
good strategy. They were just on point. They knew exactly what the car needed to do to drive around the cones, rear burns, front digs. Just, it was just one of those weekends where everything came together for them.
Yeah. I know they were really disappointed with their finish. Where did they end up? Third or fourth in Texas.
Yep. Yeah.
And they were really disappointed with that, and they put a lot of effort into making sure that everything was prepped. They had the right mindset and everything to come back, and they dominated last weekend.
But they went into the shootout, went to gate 1, and the front pinion left the chat.
Yeah.
They were, I saw they were taking it apart earlier today, and picking up pieces of that, picking the teeth up of the pinion that was sitting in the diff.
And it was the pinion that failed, so the teeth on there, and then it just kind of knocked the tips off of all of the ring gear on there. So there was nothing they could have done to get any further in the shootout. So they ended up with a 40, but not the way they wanted to finish their weekend. But honestly,
it was the perfect place to break.
They had enough points. And the car will be dialed for the next event, because now they know that needed to be replaced. It was on its way out. So great job by all of our Pro Mod competitors. Tons and tons of heart. And it is the hardest class outside of Sportsman C, I think. They run on the big courses and have the least amount of tools at their disposal. So,
all right. Well, let's move into Pro Trail. 6 competitors. Coming in 6th place, Ron Arch, Isaiah Martinez. The scores don't reflect how their weekend went. I mean, he drove he absolutely drove that car.
Yeah. It did a couple of weird things. They had the rear axle standing up straight up and down, but he was able to drive out of it.
He did that two or three times. That KLF car that rear axle stood straight up and down and didn't panic, didn't do anything, calmly drove the car back onto all 4 tires, or back onto the bottoms of the tire, not the wheel face.
Yeah.
So it was some amazing driving. First time moving up into Pro Trail, it's some tough, big obstacles, especially here. There was some big stuff, some big bonuses on the table.
And running the 5 gates with Pro Trail, time management is huge. And I don't know if Ron, I know, ran a timer, but David Tolferson did not. So
no. But then 5th place, Joel Jenkins, Trevor Rich.
A lot of effort. I don't think there was any one thing that really didn't go their way. Just a lot of trying to get through courses, and I think they're really learning to communicate well, learning how the car works. They had really planned on getting there early, spending some time practicing, but unfortunately they lost the gas cap off of the fuel cell, so they had a kind of a last-minute thrash in order to get the fuel cell sealed up so that they'd be able to run. So they didn't have the opportunity to practice like they were hoping, and I think that would have made a big difference for them if they could get out there, and any seat time they can get together is going to be good, because we know that they have the experience to be out there competitively. So
and then also first time Pro Trail competitor David Tolfson, Brandon Purdue. Man, he came out and also, one of the Sand Hollow guys that are always out wheeling, and he went out there and really drove.
Yeah.
He negative 39 for the weekend, and they learned a lot. They went into it never competing before, so didn't know what to expect, didn't know, some of the strategies where,
how to bring a timer, how important that is.
And, one of the first courses, he had made it pretty much all the way through.
Yep.
On the way to gate 5, he nicked a 4 cone because He was in a hurry, but he still had 2 minutes left. He didn't know that, it doesn't matter if you finish in 5 minutes or 9 minutes, 50 seconds.
Right. You
just need to finish.
Yep.
But he was trying to get through it quickly, and that cost him a cone immediately. But they settled in and really put on a great show. Pretty much any big bonus that anyone else did, he was right there on it too.
Yeah. That's actually
switched. Switched. Man, when you talk about how close, things got between second and third.
Yep.
So, Brett Dickey has been dominating Pro Trail for the past year, and this event, he rolled the car 3 times. He was sitting in first place with Tyler Harper, 10 points behind him on Saturday, and then Sunday they rolled the car, and then pushing to make up points, they rolled the car again, and then going into the shootout, they rolled off the wall. But
yeah, I think more than anything, kind of got him into unfamiliar territory, and took some risk that they probably shouldn't have. I think really they, probably need to settle into their game plan, and that's going to come. They're not long-time competitors, because if
their game plan is always to push on a bonus. It is. It doesn't matter if.
Well, he was the only. Brett was the only one to do the bonus over there on
A2.
A2.
Yep, the only.
Out of all of the field of pro competitors, he was the only one to accomplish that bonus.
Unlimited even tried it.
Right.
And it was the exact same gate. The cone did not move, and Brett was the only one to do it. Yeah. So that's he pulled off an amazing, clean bonus line there that nobody else even attempted. Then Sunday things got rowdy, rolled over, and then needed to push to make up points because they were still going for that first place. And then they went into the shootout in third place, right?
They did. They did. They were the first one to run in the shootout. And so
yeah.
Yep. Logan in second place. And then unfortunately trying the big wall. Ended up rolling off of that, but
still banked 3 bonuses.
Yep.
And then the -10 from the standard course.
Yeah.
But then Logan Backus went on course, and all he needed to do was beat a -29 in the shootout. So he went on there and took 1 reverse in the standard 1, 2, 3, 4, and got 2 bonuses for a -29.
Yeah. So he ended up tying with Brett. We got the old WERock rule book out.
And it goes
and the tiebreaker goes to the shootout
run.
Yep. Which Brett
Logan had a -29 and Brett had a -40.
Yep.
So Brett got him in the tiebreaker. That's just how close points were. And so Brett got the second place in Pro Trail, and then Tyler Harper finally got that first place that he hasn't been able to get since Brett started in Pro Trail.
Right. Yeah, he built a new car. He's done everything to try and chase down Brett, and he finally got to put that Ironman chassis, on the top spot. So congratulations to Tyler Harper. Amazing weekend that they put together with that, and they just stayed consistent and finished courses.
Yeah,
so.
Didn't roll the car, and that's what it took to be on the top spot there in Pro Trail.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go into Unlimited here.
Yep. So we had Craig Allen doing double duty, picking up that 5th place spot.
Yeah, he had an okay first course. Almost rolled the car. His plan was to take everything easy because he was not the only one driving the car.
Yep.
His son was driving it in Sportsman A, and his son's the one in contention for a national championship. So his goal was to just go out and get to drive his car finally. And, almost rolled it over on the first course. I think kind of dog leg. And then going into the second course, he did roll it all the way over, back on all four tires, and that's when they called it. That Craig wanted to, he wasn't, he was out of contention for anything in the unlimited class, which ended up being pretty much wasn't true. He probably still would have been in it because
it was a crazy weekend.
Because there was multiple rollovers in the unlimited field. But he decided to save the car and call it there for competing in unlimited for the weekend, so that he could spot for his son and not ruin his chance at a Western or a National Series title.
Yep. So fourth place, Dave
back
Long and
again
Nate,
in the fourth place spot.
Yeah.
Dave Long, Nate Reed.
I really feel like Dave came into the weekend. He had the win in Baghdad. Michael had the double points win in Texas. And so I really feel that Dave came into Cedar City knowing that he needed to win in order to hold off Michael. So I think he brought some extra pressure, which is, or at least more pressure than what he normally puts on himself. Dave usually is super calm and cool and collected and very methodical. And I don't know. They just weren't in a groove this weekend. They ended up upside down 2 or 3 times.
Yep, they ended up upside down twice. And, after that first roll, a DNF is still a DNF. He did, I don't know if he got 2 bonuses on that course or just the one before he rolled. But, they decided to take they were out of it then, and to just try and focus on, getting into a groove, and then unfortunately ended up upside down again, and just couldn't pull off what they wanted for sure.
Yep. So rough weekend for Club 42 Racing. John Himble and Dave Binkard ended up in third place. And those guys looked like they were having a lot of fun over the weekend. Like, I think they really put a huge focus on trying to get better at communicating.
Yep.
And
John,
both times those guys were all smiles.
Yep. I will say that so Craig Allen rolled once, Dave rolled twice, John rolled twice. Rolled off of the same spot Craig Allen did, but they got the progression on the gate and was able to finish that course where Craig rolled over just 3 feet before where John rolled over and was not able to get progression, and so they had to reattempt the gate and then timed out.
Oh yeah.
But he let's see, Saturday, even with that roll, I want to say there was less than 10 points between John Himble in second, I think, Michael Brassanini in first, and then Sawyer in third. So it was insanely tight.
Right.
There on Saturday.
I think they were a point. Yeah, I think they were a point
points away.
Yeah.
And then going into Sunday, let's see. Well, going into Michael Brassanini was still holding, I think, onto a lead, and then flopped the car on A2.
Yeah, I think Sawyer ended up getting him on A1, passed him on A1, and then Michael ended up rolling same place
as Dave Wong.
As Dave Wong, and that kind of gave Sawyer some breathing room right there. So
going into the shootout, John Himble was first in the shootout, ended up flopping over on side hill gate 2.
And I don't know what happened there. It almost looked like the rear locker wasn't engaged or wasn't working or something. It got him in a bad place. Front axle straight up and down. There was like 10 maybe options that he could have went with, and probably 8 or 9 of them would have rolled him over. Unfortunately, he selected one of those options and ended up rolling off of there. But that was a bummer to see in the shootout, because he usually puts on a great show as well. But So Michael Brassanini, they came into the shootout. They got both number one cones.
Hit both of those cones, and then strategically took the gate 3 cone to 3-tire it, and then went into the shootout and only got. Did they get 2 bonuses in the shootout?
Let me look here real quick.
I don't.
They ended up with a 2. So
Well, they would have had a 30.
They would have had 10 points in progression. They would have had at least 3 penalties.
And then, so they had a positive 32, and then they would have had a negative. So the 2 bonuses, yes. So they accomplished 2 bonuses, and they got a positive 2 on the shootout. Sawyer went into the shootout in first place.
Yep.
And he done the math, and he said, I am 16. I have, let's see, 20. It would have been, he was 16 points up on his dad.
Yeah.
And he went into the shootout.
He got through gate 1 clean.
Clean.
Followed the exact same formula.
Well, did he drove straight down it, didn't he? Michael backed down it.
Yeah, might have.
So
anyways, he got they used the pretty much the same strategy. Got through gate 1 clean.
But then they hit gate 2.
Yep.
Just barely got it on the wheel. Then they strategically 3-tired gate 3, exactly as his dad. But then dropping gate 4,
Yep.
the rear end kicked over and hit a cone.
Yeah.
So they had
ended up
3
with-
cones as
Yep.
well, same as his dad. And he went out and did 1 bonus. So he had a negative 10 in progression, a negative 10 in bonus. And so he had a positive 10 overall. He got through the finish gate, shut the car off, and said, I've won.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he had beat his dad by 6 points. He had done the math and knew exactly what he needed to do going into the shootout. And he did exactly that and took home a first place trophy.
Yeah. Yeah, so a huge payoff for Sawyer. Those guys have been pushing really, really hard. It has, definitely he earned that number 1 spot there. So, what do we got coming in on the comments over here? So we got Christian's recovering from anesthesia. I'm glad surgery.
I'm sure that'll make this a lot more watchable.
Right, yeah. It'll be more entertaining for sure. Michael Oakes congratulating Boober on his new rig. And then since we're running well over time here, just talking about the weekend, and we barely scratched the surface on all of the amazing stories from the weekend as well. But we will dive into the national points next week. Just a quick reminder that our next event is coming up in a little over a month and a half at the Good Evening Ranch in just outside of Summersville, West Virginia.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful part of the country, and the park is top notch. The people there are amazing, so make sure you guys come out. You can get your tickets now. The discount code on that is WERock25 E1 for Eastern Series Round 1. So we got a little bit of a break here. We are going to work on getting some of our winners on from Cedar over the next couple weeks. And we are working hard on, I'm flying out in a couple weeks to Reno, out to Moon Rocks, to make sure, we've got everything ready to go for that event. Working on getting everything ready to go for West Virginia.
Yep.
And we still have that thing in my head on making sure that we've got everything ironed out for the Badlands in Indiana. So Tennessee is always a huge favorite, and with the fireworks and everything now.
We're only we're only 3 events in.
Yeah.
So we have so much ahead of us this season, and already Western Points, National Series, people are strategizing, figuring out what they want to do, what events they want to drive out to.
Yeah, like maybe they didn't get the finish that they wanted in the first 3 events, and now they're
Maybe
thinking
West
about
Virginia's
heading
in
to
the
West
future,
Virginia.
Tennessee's in the future. Just so much ahead of us, and nothing solid on positions in the series.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up, and we can talk more about the national points next week. But amazing courses, great job setting everything up, holding everything together for the weekend with the wind. And we got to kick off the weekend in style with our Brannick Motorsports Hot Dog Friday.
Yep.
Which was a hit even with the wind like it was. So amazing weekend. Thank you guys for supporting all of our teams, jumping on the lives, commenting wherever you can. We really, really appreciate that. And we are looking forward to a nice little break to make sure that we've got everything ready to go for the rest of the season. But with that, I want to thank Maxxis Tires for all of their support. Remember, you can always ask for them anytime you're buying tires, whether it's for your minivan, definitely for your bicycle, motorcycle,
Airplane.
Yep. Trailer tires. They've got some great trailer tires. And of course, incredible off-road tires for either sticky rock crawling, or like I run the Maxxis Razor on my Bronco.
A Razor all-terrain, mud terrain.
UTV.
UTV, yeah.
Yep, definitely. So, huge shout out also to Laser Nut for providing all of the amazing trophies. If you need any kind of metal cutting, forming, or welding, make sure you reach out to Laser Nut. And I believe you can email them at quote@lasernut.com with whatever information you need, whether it's a paper, napkin, sketch, or you got CAD files. They can help you out. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Huge shout out to Behemoth Drivetrain, Drive Shaft Specialists of San Antonio, Spider Treks Off-Road, Carnage Welders, Crown Automotive, Axle Helmets, Tire Right, Metal Cloak, Brannick Motorsports, and Raceline Wheels. And we will be back next Wednesday. So you guys have a great week. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you then.